Good afternoon, everyone. We are Team SolBridge Gamma, and today we're going to talk about our business plan for LG. Based on the case guidelines that were given to us, our presentation will include a brief introduction to big data and AI, problems and challenges in the real world, our solution to those problems, and a market analysis.
So, at first, let me briefly remind you that what is big data and what is AI. So big data is actually the large volume of the data which are currently using in today's daily base. And AI itself also connecting with a big data which is designed computer to act human like a human. For example, learning, seeing, processing, etc. And if you look at the picture, here's the revenue from the artificial intelligence market grows, and if you see the graph, it slightly grows from 2016 to 2018 up until now. And now, experts expect it to grows about 7.5 billion US dollar for the AI market, which you can see it's gradually growing from 20 to 20. And now, coming to the converging with big data, we are working with Hadoop. Hadoop is the open source framework which actually storing data and which actually analyzing the data easily accessible. So Hadoop has HDFS, which is Hadoop Distributed File Storage, and also MapReduce, which is processing element of the Hadoop. And if you see this, once we have the big data, and Hadoop will analyze the big data with HDFS and MapReduce, and it will tell the analysis and preference of insights of you.
So now I'm going to talk about the problems that we have right now in this world. This year was a very hot year, wasn't it? All around the world. Korea was almost like 45 degrees in summer. I came to live in East Asia, not in Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, and I'm also a college student. So I like to turn on the aircon, but at the same time, it makes me broke. If I'm broke, I can't buy alcohol, which is not a good thing, right? And also in the middle of the night, after, coming back from drinking with my friends, after studying, of course, yeah, I would wake up because it would be like too hot or too cold, and I have to adjust the temperature in my room. That's annoying, isn't it? Come on. We gotta study and drink, we're college students. But at the same time, when you turn on your aircon all the time, you make the earth warmer. It causes global warming. It's harmful, right? So here we have identified 3 big problems. Number 1 is aircon use is a big part of your utility bills each month. Number 2, your usage of air conditioning causes global warming, which causes you to use more air conditioning. It's a cycle, endless cycle. Number 3, it's hard to adjust, and it's annoying, What if you're watching Netflix and having a beer and your remote is over there? It's a constant struggle that I face. You have to go there, adjust it, wait for it to get cold, and it'll be too cold, and then you've got to adjust it again. We identified those 3 problems, and we want to solve that. So what did we come up with? We came up with something called ClimeQ. So basically it's a device that you attach to the aircon, and then that device will be connected to the internet, and it will analyze big data, and it will analyze also your personal preferences. It will learn from what is the exact temperature that you like, what is the humidity that you like, without having to do anything much, without having to adjust the temperatures all the time. And it works because, on your aircon, each aircon, it doesn't matter if it's LG or not. The brand doesn't matter. It has an infrared sensor. That's how you control it. If I lose my remote control, I can download an app on my phone. So that's not a problem at all. And it will be connected. So if we're outside, for example, and we want to go home, to a cold home without having to wait first, then it will detect your GPS, and it will know where you are, so it will turn it on before you're even home. You can adjust those settings. So how much can you save with ClimeQ? Studies show that we spend an average of around $360 US per year on electricity. And a big part of that probably goes to air conditioning. So by using our device, you'll be able to save around 30%, or which is around $110 per year. Or in Korean currency is around 100 bottles of soju. So, yeah, that's important. So now my friend will talk more about big data gathering, all the nerdy stuff.
So we have three big data gathering methods for ClimeQ. The first one is location. It allows ClimeQ to track the location of your phone, and you can turn on or turn off your AC remotely. For example, you left in a rush and you forgot to turn off your aircon. ClimeQ can detect that if you're not within a 1 kilometer radius for more than 30 minutes, it can turn off the aircon automatically and save your electricity bills. Second is the internet. The internet will allow ClimeQ to gather information about the model of your aircon, the power consumption, and also the average price of power in that country or your specific area. Third is Google's weather forecast. It will allow ClimeQ to check to gather information such as the temperature outside, the humidity outside, and it can better adjust the condition and the temperature inside your own room.
As my teammates already mentioned about the Google forecast and then GPS and infrared, we're also using the GPS, Wi-Fi, infrared, Google Calendar as well. Because Google Calendar will help you to analyze the historical data. So now, as I mentioned, the Hadoop, we're going to use the Hadoop for the analyzing the data and then storing the data at the same time. Okay, once you set the temperature inside a home or outside, and it will automatically submit the data to the Hadoop system. And then Hadoop will store the data with the HDFS, which is Hadoop Distributed File Storage. And then it will automatically send the processing data to the MapReduce, which is the processing solution of this. And then it will make the device make you optimal temperature, which is saved as optimal temperature. And at the same time, you have comfort zone. Now, MapReduce and Hadoop will save you basic preference based on Google Calendar and GPS at the same.
This is going to be the home screen of our application. Right here you can see the temperature, humidity, and the comfort level. And you can change the comfort level based on how you're feeling right now. So let's say in this room you're feeling too warm. You can change your comfort level to too warm, and then it will adjust the temperature automatically. When the room reaches your optimal temperature, you can change your comfort level again to comfy. This will allow ClimeQ to store the temperature right now, this humidity level, as your optimum temperature, and it'll be used for future references. On the analytics section, you can also see the average AC set points. This is not to be mistaken as the actual temperature inside the room. This is just the temperature that you set your AC to. This is the history. You can see more information about the outdoor temperature, indoor temperature, humidity, and all other things. And also here you can also see the runtime of your AC. Let's see. Yeah.
So now I'm going to talk about the market analysis. You might think right now, we have a respected guest from LG here. He's like, yo, we already have a smart aircon. Why do we need to create a new product? Well, the cost is expensive. It's around like $700, $600, and most people nowadays, millennials, we're renting. We don't necessarily want to rent a place and, change the aircon altogether. Or, what about people who are also living in like middle income countries? This is big, big money for them. It's like twice the price of regular air conditioners. We found like the potential for our product in these markets, and we're not specifying one single country because LG is a multinational company, and this product is also very easy to sell and everything around the world. One great example is India. India is a tropical country, mostly. Its population is huge and has like 1.2 billion people. And CDD is cooling degree days. It's basically a unit used to measure how much energy is needed to cool a building. You can see in India, it's very high compared to other countries such as the United States, where it has 4 seasons. And you might think right now, looking at this chart, but the annual GDP per capita is so low, $1,500 per year. But annual GDP per capita is not very accurate. Why? Let's say the middle class of India is like around 10%, which doesn't sound so much, right? But if you calculate it, it's around 70 to 100 million people right now that are middle class in India, which is more than the entire population of Korea, almost twice as much. So this is an example of all the markets that we can target. Now Anne will talk about more in-depth customer analysis.
Hello, my name is Anne. I'm tech part from here. So in my part, I will briefly talk about 3C analysis as well as the STB strategy. So let's get started with the customer analysis. We create our customer analysis based on the needs for AC, its spend information, and the needs of operation saving time. We found 4 components to analyze, which are purchase motivations, perceptions, key business factors, and information source. So with the high electricity bill and the willing to pay for the remote activation of the customer, as well as the unclear perceptions of energy saving and the worries about operation time, we have the indication for 4B mix that we will test on the product quality and the functions, as well as this that we will clearly showing the country of origins which are made in Korea. And although we have many media channels, but we mostly focus on social media. So you are seeing the competitor, company and analyst. Actually, there is existing solutions here, and we just find the direct competitors with the MB, and after comparisons, we found that, we assume that the giant LG can offer the customer a better price, like around $100, really cheaper than its MB. And we believe that with the strong brand awareness, the price and the after services like 1 to 3, the LG can win market. And within the segmentations, we find 4 segmentation variables. It is health conditions, income level, age, lifestyle behavior, and we come up with the targeting customer within 25 to 40 years old, middle income people living in a rented room house, or the homeowner who do not want to upgrade their regular air conditioner. And we also have the indication for 40 mix. We will manufacture a high quality product, but with the middle price, and distribute it among the showroom, direct mall, official online mall, and we will focus on long-term benefits and customer experience to promote our product. And last is our product position. To set the mindset, to set a product identified in the customer mind, we come up with a big idea that's easy like by choosing ClimeQ. So to sum up, our ClimeQ is the solutions for 3 problems. First is the expand on air condition. The second one is to improve our environment. And the last one is to increase customer experience. And so that's all about our ClimeQ project. Thank you for listening.